wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning, NV Jess. CCG not here? Oh no. Okay, well let's
go today.
Okay, well, let's get into it anyways, guys. More details are surfacing about the mid-air collision between the Army helicopter and an American Airlines flight. Officials have confirmed that all 67 people aboard both the Army helicopter and the American Airlines flight from Kansas were killed in the crash over the Potomac River near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. Now, President Trump spoke on the matter twice yesterday, the first time during a White House press briefing with Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, American Airlines CEO, and other transportation officials. The president blamed previous administrations for the crash, suggesting that diversity, equity, and inclusion policies lowered the standards for air traffic controllers. He also spoke later in the afternoon after he signed executive orders, one of which he appointed Christopher Roches as the acting FAA administrator. Let's hear more from Trump, those comments from Trump on the crash yesterday.
On behalf of the First Lady, myself, and 340 million Americans, our hearts are shattered alongside yours, and our prayers are with you now and in the days to come. My administration will set the highest possible bar for aviation safety. We have to have our smartest people. It doesn't matter what they look like, how they speak, who they are. It matters intellect, talent, the word talent. I'm also immediately appointing an acting commissioner to the FAA, Christopher Roches, a 22-year veteran of the agency, highly respected.
And when asked if he would visit the crash site, he responded by saying, "Visit what? What do you want me to go swimming? No." So he implied that he will not be visiting that crash site. He said that the positions required complex things, air traffic controller, and if people don't have a great power of the brain, they're not going to be very good at what they do, and bad things will happen. He did go on to say that he will he said he will restore Americans' faith in air travel. Reverend Al Sharpton is slamming President Trump for those DEI comments. Sharpton was quick to denounce the president, saying his remarks were a callous disregard for human life at a time when first responders are still pulling bodies out of the Potomac River. The civil rights activist also said Trump is trying to use Black, brown, LGBTQ, and disabled Americans as scapegoats. Elsewhere, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, he was also in that White House press briefing, saying the investigation is still in its early stages and will be exhaustive. He did reassure Americans that airline travel is safe. Let's hear more from Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy.
Safety is our expectation. Everyone who flies in American skies expects that we fly safely, that when you depart an airport, you get to your destination. That didn't happen last night. And I know that President Trump, his administration, the FAA, the DOT, we will not rest until we have answers for the families and for the flying public. You should be assured that when you fly, you're safe.
What do you think, Envy?
I mean, I think it's so crazy. I mean, Trump is the president for the next 4 years, but I think he should be leading with empathy, right, and understanding. Mm-hmm. Like, if he's for America like he says he is, he should be leading with his heart. And the fact that he was using this to talk about DEI just sounds nasty. Just think about all those families that, lost family members, lost mothers, lost sisters, brothers, and uncles and grandfathers, and they turn on the TV and they hear, well, this was DEI's fault. I mean, he should be coming from a place of understanding and sadness and empathy, and then talk about what happened after that. It's just very nasty.
And then how are you supposed to feel safe? Like something like that happens. I know they talking about, keep harping on the fact that, air travel is safe. It's like, how are we supposed to feel safe after that?
Right.
Like, I travel for a living. Or anybody, just how is somebody supposed to feel comfortable getting on a flight? They can't even begin to tell us what happened, or even take blame or anything.
No,
and
for real.
The craziest thing is, I was going to say the craziest thing with the air traffic control and flights, I thought that was the safest, right? Because I thought that's where they're always checking. They're always telling planes when to go higher or lower, or when to land, when not to land. I always felt that was a lot safer than being on the road. But it's seeing with all these accidents or near accidents or planes clipping each other and all these things happening, it seems like it's a lot of, they have to do a lot more research and action into what's going on that those planes.
Yeah.
So to your point, MV, a preliminary FAA report reveals that staffing at the air traffic control tower was not normal during the Midair collision near Reagan National Airport. Multiple reports cite a source saying staffing was not normal for the amount of the air traffic and the time of the day. NTSB, which is the National Transportation Safety Board spokesperson Todd Inman, says they're collecting information about the personnel in the tower, whether or not they were fatigued, how long they've been working. They're really doing their due diligence in terms of the investigation, but they do say it is too early to speculate on what may have led to that collision. So, of course, I'll bring you those details as they arise. Furthermore, the two black boxes from the collision have also been located. NBC News reports that a source with knowledge of the investigation say they were recovered on Thursday. Now they are reportedly on their way to the NTSB Safety Board lab, where they will undergo an investigation, a crash investigation, and a report will be ready within a month, is what they're saying.
That sounds crazy. There's certain jobs you just can't skimp on, right?
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't skimp on traffic control, right? You can't skimp
At
on
all.
doctors and medical assistants. You can't skimp on certain jobs, firefighters and police officers. So the fact that this is a airport and not a small airport, like Reagan is huge. Like I had to run through Reagan the other day, and I felt like I got my steps in. I felt like I ran a couple of miles. Like it's a huge airport, and the fact that they didn't have the necessary staff to man all these planes, that's the biggest problem.
Yeah, it's very, very scary. Very, very, very scary, like they said. But the officials are reassuring that air traffic or air safety, air travel is safe. So.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning, MV, Jess Hilarious, and happy Friday to CTG wherever he at. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it, guys. A little bit more on what's happening with this collision, the flight, the whole situation, the whole shebang that happened out here at Reagan National Airport. Now, officials in Wichita, Kansas, they are waiting to learn how many of the victims in Wednesday night's air crash near Washington, D.C. were from their community. Wichita Mayor Lily Wu says so many people have been impacted, and they feel close with the D.C. community following this incident. And Kansas Governor Laura Kelly says it's respectful to wait for the next of kin to be notified before names of victims are being released to the public. So let's hear more from those Kansas officials.
We feel very much connected to Washington, D.C., and feel this tragedy has impacted not just our community, but their community and multiple others around the country and world.
They're waiting for all the families to be notified, and there are some folks who are on that plane who are from overseas, and so that's partially the reason for the delay.
In regards to the delay, what she is talking about is the names in the manifesto, or excuse me, the passenger manifest that she says could be released as early as this afternoon from the NTSB, again, the National Transportation Safety Board. Again, 67 people are feared to be dead after the American Airlines regional jet departed from Wichita, collided with an Army helicopter at Reagan National Airport. We will continue to send our prayers to those impacted and bring you updates as they arrive. Switching gears, Secretary of Health and Human Services nominee Robert F. Kennedy, he was asked to explain some of his statements in the past that black people have better immune systems than white people. In day 2 of his confirmation hearings on Capitol Hill yesterday, Kennedy was questioned by Maryland Democratic Senator Angela Also Brooks, who is one of 2 black women currently serving in the U.S. Senate. She made up her mind after hearing his answers. Let's hear more of that exchange.
We should not be giving black people the same vaccine schedule that's given to whites because their immune system is better than ours. Can you please explain what you meant?
There's a series of studies, I think most of them by Poland, that show that to particular antigens that blacks have a much stronger reaction. There's differences in reaction to different products by different races.
So I have 17 seconds left. Let me just ask you then. So what different vaccine schedule would you say I should have received? What different vaccine schedule should I have received?
I mean, the Poland article suggests that blacks need fewer antigens than.
This is
so
so
you get the
dangerous.
same measles vaccine. but
Mr. Kennedy, with all due respect, that is so dangerous. Your voice would be a voice that parents would listen to. That is so dangerous. I will
With
be
the
voting
truth
against
is
your nomination because
science.
your views are dangerous to our state. And
What do you
to our
guys think
country.
about that?
That man is one cough away from being Jimmy Carter. I'm
You
telling
stupid.
you right now.
You stupid. You stupid.
Oh my
The
gosh, I was
the
gonna
only
say, that
word,
is not what we're discussing.
the only word I could hear was blacks. He know how to say that,
Oh
you
my
know.
God.
But that is just crazy how you could say that. Like,
He's basically he's
like the
basically
woman
saying
said,
that
that's-
science shows that black people have a certain level of antigens compared to white people, and that we should be, and by we I mean black people should receive vaccines different than on a different schedule or different level than that of white people. I mean, black people are no stranger to not necessarily liking a vaccine or being what's the word that I'm looking for? Basically, that's based on the Tuskegee, you got it. So basically, black people are no stranger to, a lack of trust in vaccines, right? So I don't know what he's saying, whether or not, I'm just looking for the science to actually prove and back up what he's saying. So.
That rhetoric is so dangerous, right? When you start
Yeah.
talking about that, and then you start going back to when we had to get the vaccine, and
Right.
we would look at our communities, and our communities were some of the last ones to get the vaccines. Our communities were one of the ones where we had to fight to get to the vaccines.
Yeah.
Our community was the one where the vaccine wasn't easily available.
about it.
So
Yeah,
when
right.
you start hearing things like that, you understand where these people are getting this information for, but it's false. It's a lie. And the fact that the person that's running that department is saying this, that's scary as ish.
yeah, and it just seems like medical racism. Like what? I don't know if I just made that up, but that's
I think you did,
medical
but I'm with you
racism.
though. I'm with you 1,000%.
It's like, dang, that's even more dangerous than just regular racism. Like, what are we talking about?
Nah, for real. Like, I mean, we're marginalized enough as is. Like, please, not in the medical field too. Healthcare, come on now. Oh man. Well, let's switch gears real quick to law enforcement. I don't know. How do we feel about that? Well, Kash Patel, he was also on Capitol Hill before senators yesterday, as he is selected to lead the FBI. He spoke about his family history and actions regarding law enforcement needing to be clear. Let's hear his comments.
Sitting here today, I carry not only the dreams of my parents, but also the hopes of millions of Americans who stand for justice, fairness, and the rule of law. My father fled Idi Amin's genocidal dictatorship in Uganda, where 300,000 men, women, and children were killed based on their ethnicity, just because they happen to look like me. The public trust can only be restored if there is full transparency.
So he did go on to say that he does not agree with the commutation of any sentence of any individual who committed violence against law enforcement in regards to Trump's pardoning of January 6ers. So he is trying to separate himself from that, which is a good thing because the FBI and the Department of Justice should be separate from that of the president. But we will continue to see. He was a little snappy in his
And he
his
was going around a
confirmation
lot
hearing.
of questions, especially about when it came to him lying for the president. You know what I mean? He was just going around a bunch of he would not answer the question. They had a nerve to be snappy. So, woo.
All right, so moving on, the families of the deadly Bourbon Street terrorist attack victims are suing New Orleans officials and contractors for lax security. The lawsuit names the city of New Orleans, the police department, an engineering firm, and the French Quarter Management District as defendants. The suit claims city officials and contractors failed to secure the area against a potential vehicle attack. A similar suit was filed earlier this month, just after 3 a.m. on New Year's Day. Shashmoud Din Jabbar drove a rented pickup truck through Bourbon Street, killing 14 people and injuring dozens before police fatally shot him. So that is what's happening in regards to that New Year's Day terrorist attack, and a lawsuit is underway. And hopefully, we don't have to worry about any type of safety issues regarding New Orleans in the next coming days, weeks, as people prepare to travel out there for the big game. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And bringing things home to you guys in New York, Mayor Eric Adams, he was back in the public eye after a mysterious health scare led him to cancel appearances on Thursday. He attended the annual State of the NYPD address in Midtown and hosted the New York Public Library's annual Interfaith breakfast. He basically said that last week was very scary for him in terms of his health scare, and he had to trust in God and lean on God, and that he doesn't know who started the rumors about him resigning today, but that is not true. And he also blasts those who judge him as anti-immigrant, saying that he's basically, put in a lot of work to make sure that migrants have been safe in the city of New York, but he has had to make some adjustments with the incoming administration. So, but yeah, that's I'll continue to keep you guys posted as to what's going on with the mayor, in addition to what's happening with his corruption charges as well. So that's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Happy Friday. Follow me on social at Morgan Media. And for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit BINnews.com.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.